Hi, ladies. So I'm going to mute you both, and I usually wait about 5 minutes and then we get started.
Right.
And I have all my questions ready for everyone to answer and go over a couple of things, and then you're free to go. Usually the Saturday meetings, there's not very many people on it, which I understand, but I still do it and then I just record it. So you are being recorded, I should tell you all that. While we're waiting, I'm just answering questions in the app. There we go. More people are coming. All right, let's see. We got about a minute and a half, and then I'm gonna get started. I really don't think there's gonna be very many more people. There's a couple of you on here. We do have, I think it's 15 new people, and then 5 that came back. Pretty sure that's what it is. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. You guys are all muted. You all can hear me, right? Just wanted to make sure. Thumbs up. Awesome. Okay. So this is questions and answers. The most important thing I want to say is the 2 meetings I've already done. The welcome meeting and the macros 101 meeting answers a lot of questions. And so if you come to me, and not just you guys, but everybody that's listening to this on record as I speak, that's what I'm referring to. As y'all come to me, I'm going to say, I mentioned that in one of the first meetings. Did you listen to the meeting? And I'm always going to refer back to those 2 meetings if I mentioned it, because I know what I talk about. Because anytime I say watch a meeting, it's kind of mandatory. Like I give you the information so I don't have to repeat it 15 times. And I've talked about this in the welcome meeting that if this was one-on-one and we were always one-on-one, this would be $300 to $400 for the 8 weeks. I'm able to downsize it, and because I'm not looking to make money, I'm doing it as a group session, which means things get recorded. This way you can watch it over and over again, and I can refer to it. Okay, so that being said, this meeting is being recorded, and I will go through all questions I've had from the past couple of years. I skim through them. I don't use them all. I just look at ones that seem important to me. And then if I don't answer a question, you guys can always leave like a comment, like put something down at the bottom. And if I see it, I will make sure I address it. Okay, so first thing is, how do I know, being you guys, meaning you guys are asking me these questions, how do I know that what you gave me is correct as far as macros? There's no way I'm going to be able to eat all this food. It's way too much food. How the hell am I going to reach my goals? First thing is, the more you eat, the more you lose. We have been in a mindset all our lives to not eat. Don't eat that many carbs, cut down your fats. You shouldn't be eating all that food. You're never going to lose weight, blah, blah, blah. That is such a myth that it's put us all in such a bad place with our metabolism that we have to correct our metabolism now. And the way to do that is to eat what your body needs. Your body needs fuel. Your body needs proteins. Your body needs carbs. Your body needs fats. America became obese when we went into that whole no fat phase back in the 90s. Everything's no fat, no fat, no fat, no fat. All of a sudden, America blew up. America is the #1 country for obesity. But then you look at France and you look at Italy and you look at Spain, and they all eat pasta. They all eat cheese. They all eat the dairy. They all eat the food that we're like, no, we can't eat that. But they're eating it and they're in shape. They're not overweight. They're not obese. The numbers are not as horrible as America. And that's because we are in such a mindset, because of TikTok and because of all this other crap, that we need to stop eating and starve ourselves. And that is not the case. So when you're doing macros, and I ask you guys to fill out that consultation form, and I ask you to fill out your activity level, not just how much you're exercising, but also what you're doing for work. I take your height, your weight, your age. I take what you do for a living, and I take what your exercise level is, and I use those. And those, your activity level and your fitness level, have a number attached to it, depending on what you do. And then I calculate it. And the calculation determines for you individually, personally, how much you should be eating. So if you told me you're working out 5 hours a week and you're not working out 5 hours a week, now you're only down to 3 hours a week, then yeah, you might gain weight, because I calculated your numbers at 1 to 3 hours. Now, or 5 hours, sorry, 4 to 6 hours. Now, if you are working out 2 hours a week, you told me 3, that's not going to change it. But if it's a big jump, like I work out every day, 1 hour every day, hardcore, and I do it for intense fitness, and you're only working out 3 hours a week, yeah, you're probably not going to like your results. So you need to tell me honestly, and that's why I ask you, what are you doing now, and what are you planning on doing? And if I'm going to be totally honest with you, if I see on that form, right now I'm only working out 2 hours a week, but when I start your program, it's going to be every day for 90 minutes. I'm like, bullshit. If you can't find the time now, what makes you think in 4 days or 5 days you're going to be able to work out 9 to 10 hours a week? So I actually have been doing this for a really long time, so I know that's what happens. So I down your calculation. The best part about macros is we can change it on a dime. We can dial in at any time. Now, that being said, I will not, and I'll tell you this right now, and I'm happy to refund money, I will not dial down your numbers because you tell me it's too much food for you to eat. You're eating this food because you're supposed to be eating this food. Now, if you tell me that there's no way I can track every day, I'm not responsible enough for that, I don't want to be accountable, I don't need to be engaged and accountable in your app, and you tell me a week that you're in that this is not for you, I will send you your money back. No questions asked. If you come to me and say it's too many carbs, it's too many fats, I'm going to say, let's figure it out. Let's do it together. Because yeah, if you're piecemealing and eating like 10 almonds and like not getting in meals, it's going to be a challenge to get your food in. But as I talked about in Macros 101, you got to bulk up your meals and you got to make yourself eat. And I'm going to tell you a quick story, and then I'm going to move on to the next question. When I first started tracking macros, now I was 242 pounds. I had 42% body fat. I now weigh 142 pounds on a good day. On a bad day, maybe 144. And my body fat is 17.6%. I eat a lot of food, but I've trained my body to eat that food. And that's what the process is. So when I first started doing this, I was sitting at the table and I eat out of a big bowl for dinner every night because that's how I get all my food in. And I was married at the time, and I'm sitting at the table with my broccoli, with my fish, 8 ounces of tilapia mixed in with the broccoli, mixed in with hot sauce, and tears are running down my face. And his name is John. John said, "Why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you crying, sitting at the table, eating your food? I'm already done." And I said, because I committed to eating for my goals and I'm going to do it. So at the time I had a coach, and this was over 15 years ago, I had a coach, and I reached out and she said, get up, walk around, go do laundry, go clean your dishes for everybody else that ate, do what you need to do, come back, sit down and eat that food. I was hoping she would say, you know what, you're full, don't eat. Get up, clean up, you're done. Everybody's away from the table, you're good to go. She didn't say that to me. She said, you committed to this program. And if you're committed to losing weight, and I was 100 pounds overweight, then you need to get your shit together, focus on why you're here, how bad do you want it, and get that food down. And now I did. I kept texting her back and forth. I ate this much, kept sending her pictures of my bowl. By the time I was done, I was so full, but I felt like I did what I was supposed to do. Within 3 weeks, when I was done with that bowl, I was hungry. I wanted more food. My body wanted that. Your body wants to be fed. The more you eat, your metabolism gets revved up, and you're going to start to burn fat, and you're going to start to build lean muscle with all the protein that you're eating. And the more lean muscle you have, the more fat your body will burn. There's no such thing that your muscle turns to fat or your fat turns to muscle. They're not the same thing. They can't turn into each other. Okay. The reason why someone said, do I have to take pictures? I'm going back to new question, more questions, by the way. Kind of goes hand in hand. Why do I have to take pictures every other week? So you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. This is not a dictatorship. I am coaching you and I'm telling you how this program works, and I'm coaching you how to see results. When you track macros, the scale may not necessarily move every week, because tracking macros changes your body composition. So muscle and fat weigh exactly the same. If you have a pound of muscle and you have a pound of fat and you put it on the scale, that's not going to look any different. But if you have a pound of muscle and it looks like this, and you have a pound of fat, it's going to look like this. So one takes up more mass, right? More volume. The difference, right? If I put this in a pair of pants, or I put this in a pair of pants, it's going to fit better with this in there than with this in there. This has more fat, this has more muscle, because your body will shrink. You're not going to see that on the scale, but you will see it in your photos. And you're going to be like, holy crap, look how big my stomach was, or look at my butt cheek, or look at my arm, or look at my chin. There's ways that you're going to see it that's not on the scale. I've had women come to me, and they're still in the program, that said, I only want to lose 8 pounds or 5 pounds. I have somebody in here that's been in the program for a very long time. And her weight comes off like ounces, right? Because she's at the bottom, she's at the end. She came to me at the end, but her body fat has gone down 6%. That's huge. And her pant size went from a size 6 to she can get into a 2. But her weight has hardly changed. So I just wanted to get that through to everybody, that it's not always about that scale moving. People might say to me all the time, wow, Shani, you got so lean. How much weight did you lose? I didn't lose anything. Thank you, but I didn't lose anything. I put on 2 pounds of muscle, or whatever the case is. And that's what's most important. Danielle, who her daughter's in the program, has lost over 50 pounds, her daughter's now in the program, but she's lost over 50 pounds on my program, fat pounds. And lately, probably for the past couple of months, it's been very hard for her to lose weight because she's so down to where she needs to be. So we refocused, redialed in her numbers, got her to lift more weights, build more lean muscle. And she did her InBody a couple of days ago. And she gained finally like 2.5 pounds of muscle and dropped 2% body fat. That is amazing. And now she's still have a scale move. She's rejuvenated. She feels great. If you have access to an InBody, please take advantage of it as soon as you can. If you don't think you do have access, reach out to me because I have access. If you live near Wellington, I have access to an InBody at Retro Fitness, and I would love for you to come in and take an InBody test. It needs to be really done first thing in the morning usually. But if we do it at night, we'll just have to make sure we do it at night the next time. But you guys can come and do that for free. Normally it costs like $30 wherever you go, but I'm a trainer and a instructor at Retro Fitness. So I can do it before I teach a class or train a client or something. Okay. How often should we be exercising? Are the macros adjusted if exercising more than what was stated at the start? We already talked about that part. Don't overstate, don't understate. And do they adjust when I lose weight? So your macros will adjust, not necessarily when you lose pounds, but it's usually 10% of your weight. So you could lose 10 pounds, but if that's not 10% of your weight, if you weighed 150 and now you want to be 135, we're probably not going to adjust it. That being said, I'm always recalculating people's numbers. If I see that you didn't move for 2 or 3 weeks, I'm on my computer recalculating your macros, and I'll reach out to you and say, hey, notice you haven't moved, the scale hasn't moved, your logs look amazing, you're being consistent 7 days a week, you're hitting your numbers 7 days a week, let's go ahead, I'm going to adjust your numbers and let's see what happens. It's always let's see what happens because nothing is in black and white, and I could always put them back where they were and see what happens again. I'm going to read you a statistic from the Department of Health. If your goal is to reduce your body weight by 5% or more, and you've already lost a lot of weight and want to keep it off, or you want to lose over 10% of your body weight, you need to work out a minimum of 300 minutes of activity weekly. 300 minutes. That's like an hour, 5 days a week. Moderate to intense activity. And this is actually, I just printed a screenshot of it from one of my, I do lectures at Palm Beach State College on fitness and nutrition. So this is just one of my slides from the, I didn't just type it up or anything. So this is from the Department of Health. So please, please, please keep that in mind. When you tell me you don't want to work out, that's fine. It's going to take you longer. I calculate your macros to be sedentary, or if you have an injury, or it's something, you know, some people are just not active yet. You will get there. Don't worry about it. It comes with feeling good. The more you work, more you start to lose weight and start to feel good about yourself, the more you exercise. And my sister will probably talk about that on Wednesday night because she's lost almost 100 pounds on my program and she hated exercise. And look at her who her sister is. Like, I exercise, like that's my life, you know, and she could care less. So she could care less. Flash forward, not so much. Okay. Could you talk about intermittent fasting? I can absolutely talk about it. So intermittent fasting is just a way of timing your food. It is not a quick fix. When you do intermittent fasting and you first do it, you're like, oh my God, I do intermittent fasting and I lost 15 pounds and this is great. And this is the program that works for me. It's not a program. It's not anything that's to do with your body learning how to eat. It's basically tricking your body that you're only eating a certain amount of time, but you still have to get all your macros in that amount of time. So I intermittent fast, but I don't do it intentionally. I wake up at 3:30 in the morning. I'm out the door by 4 a.m. for either my first client or my first class. And if I start eating at 4 a.m., I'll be eating, starving, like just always eating until the end of the day. So I force myself not to eat until I'm done with my classes or my morning clients, which is usually 11 or 11:30. And then I eat straight through all day long until 8 o'clock at night. And I get all my macros in. People call it intermittent fasting. I call it life. But if it's easier for you, then go ahead and do it. You know, I have no problem with it. But if you can't get in your 16, 17, 1800 numbers in that period of time, then you can't do it. It's not going to work. Okay. Let's see. If there's a group that's not for me, how do I unsubscribe? So if you don't drink and you don't want to be in the alcohol calculations group, I could just take you out. There are groups that require you to be in. So right now, because you are new, you're not even in the important announcements group. You're not in the nutrition group, and you're not shout outs, and you're not in the fitness shout out group. However, by 5 o'clock tomorrow, you will be in those 3 groups, and then you'll be with everybody. But if you don't want to be in the, you don't cook and you don't want to be in the recipe group, then let me know and I'll take you out of it. So the groups I require you to be in are the fitness shout outs, the nutrition shout outs, the important announcements, and then the 2 transformation groups that you're in. If there are other groups you don't want to be in, just let me know. We'll talk about it and make a decision between ourselves if that's a group you should stay in or not. Someone said in one of our meetings, why did I wait so long to do this? I always bring that up. Someone asked me what my daily logs look like, and they're in the sample group. I have them in there, screenshot. In the sample group, there's also sample days for 1,200, 1,400, 1,600, 1,800, and 2,000, I think, calories that I put together for you guys, just to give you an idea. Can you drink half your body weight? I mean, not can you drink more than half your body weight in water every day? You can, but you don't want to over drink water either. That could be dangerous because you need sodium and you need potassium in your body. And if you over drink water, your body starts to deplete that. And it's the opposite of dehydration. And then you have to go to the hospital and you have to get sodium and potassium IVs, and you don't want to do that. Chances are we're not going to get there. And especially because a lot of us live in Florida or warm states, and now it's summertime wherever we are. So you really need the water anyway. But I just like to touch on that. Also, I take collagen peptides. Do I need to log it? Yes. Collagen peptides is protein. So I use Vital Collagen from Amazon. If anybody wants the link, I will send it to you. It's no taste, like no flavor, no color, no nothing. I put it in this cup or any of my cups, 2 scoops every single day with my water and with Crystal Light before I walk out the door. And that does count as protein. So you can log it as your protein. It will help you hit your protein numbers. That's why we do 2 scoops every day. And it's great for your skin, your hair, your nails. Start young doing collagen because you won't need to get Botox and filler as you get older. And I hear like these 30-year-olds saying they need protein, Botox and filler. I'm like, do you drink collagen? Start taking collagen. And then they think like I'm pushing some like Isagenix collagen. I'm like, I'm not. Go on Amazon. Get it there. I don't care where you get it from. When reading labels and has fiber in it, do we get to take that off the total carbs? No, and I discussed that in Macros 101. A carb is a carb, just like a pound is a pound. You don't get to decrease your carbs because it has fiber in it. But fibers are good. Are we on a high protein diet? Absolutely not. You are on a moderate protein diet. 40%, majority of you are at 40% of protein. And you're not on a high carb. I don't believe in high carb. I don't believe in low carb or low fat. Should be balanced pretty much besides your fats. So you guys, majority of you are about 40% protein, 36 to 38 carbs, and somewhere between 26 and 30% fats. But it's all calculated depending on what you tell me, like we talked about. What if we can't find a match for something in the log? You're going to create your own. So somebody went to have tacos the other night. She couldn't figure out how to log it. I said, you're going to log your shell. You're going to log the vegetables. You're going to log the beef, all separate. Same thing if you were to go to Bolé or just salad or Chipotle. We have all these build your own places. That makes it easy because you could just log it in. When you go there, and we're going to talk about this in one of the meetings, but when you go to restaurants, just ask them the quantity. How many ounces of chicken do you give me? How many ounces of seared tuna do I get? They know. If you own a restaurant and I owned a restaurant, we know what we're giving you because that's how we make money. We're not going to give you 10 ounces not knowing that how much money we're sending out the door and only charging you for a certain amount. So everyone knows what they're giving you and you can ask. If you reach the end of the day and you're not at your macros unintentionally and you're full, do we have to force yourself to eat? We already talked about this in my first story. Pretty much, yes. But there's a little, there's always wiggle room. Like I said, nothing's black and white. If you message me and you say, hey, I got all my proteins in, I'm A-okay with my proteins, but I'm short about 15 to 18 carbs. Should I get them in? I'm always going to tell you, probably not. Don't worry about it. Your protein is the most important number to get. Everything else normally falls in line. If your proteins are fatty, you got to watch that because then your fats are going to go up. And in the cheat sheet group, there are cheat sheets that tell you your lean proteins, your moderately lean proteins, and your fatty proteins. And I'm adding a couple of new ones in there today as well that are more readable. There's some in there in the protein group that someone brought to my attention that they're very fuzzy. So yeah, I'm going to fix that. Okay. What is the best way to track food that you can't scan? So if you have MyFitnessPal, they took away the scanning unless you bought premium. We have a hack for that. I talked about it, but I'm going to say it again. The hack is you log in, go under settings, under your MyFitnessPal app, and where it says your country of where you're from, put UK. Don't leave it as the USA. They don't pay for it yet. So they get to scan, so you get to scan. Otherwise, you're going to look for the best option. Egg whites. Look for the best option for egg whites. Meat, you need to know when you're tracking meat. Is it 90-30 or 90-30, 90-10, 70-30, depending on how much fat is in there, whether you're using turkey meat. Those are all important things. That will totally skew your goal, you're reaching your goals if you're not accurately tracking. And that's where I come in. If Jennifer is not sure what to do, message me and say, hey, I'm going to be eating this and I want to put it in my log before I eat it because that's what we do. We don't do it after we eat it. Well, how should I log it? I'll say, hey, this is the best way to do it. Log it this way, and this way. And I'll tell you how to do it. Same thing with alcohol. People ask me all the time, I'm going to have, someone just asked me, I'm going to have tequila and this is how many calories it is. And I say, do you know how to log it? And they say yes. And I always come back and say, are you using carbs and fat or fats? Because that's all protein is. I mean, that's all alcohol is carbs or fats. You decide, but I like to know. And then once you tell me carbs, I always look back in your log to make sure you guys have that available. So, and I'll always help you with that. Anytime you're not sure what to log, message me. Please don't message me and say, I'm sitting at Bolé and I don't want to put this food in my mouth and I need the answer within the next 30 seconds. Because chances are I'm not looking at my phone at that moment. If I am, you're very lucky. My phone is connected to me, by the way. I'm always answering you guys, always. And now if I'm training a client or I'm teaching a fitness class, obviously I can't look at my phone. But I will look at it in between clients. I will look at it after classes and I will help you. All right, let me look through other questions. By the way, I talk a lot. So y'all know. And I have no filter. Okay. I already talked about too much food. Just so you know, and Jennifer, this will make you happy too. This sheet here is from meetings past. And you can tell because I have all like these notes on the back from other meetings, but I want you to look at the first topic of this meeting. Hold on. I got to see what I'm doing. Can you see it? Okay. So everybody asks that question. It's probably the number one question that I get asked on a daily basis. So you're not alone and we all get it. And we're going to talk about it at our meeting also on Wednesday. Okay. More questions. Can you eat out and be successful? Absolutely. I eat out. I don't cook for the record, you guys know. Now cooking to me is making meals. I hard-boiled eggs. I throw chicken in my air fryer. I throw broccoli in my air fryer, but I don't make meals. I don't even know how to saute. I don't know any of that stuff. But I order out all the time and I eat out a lot. I just order clean and eat clean. You don't have to do that. You can have whatever you want. But if I order Chinese food, I will say I would like grilled chicken, soy sauce on the side, and just steamed broccoli. Now, I won't do that if I'm by myself. Obviously, I'll cook it at home. But if we're with people or if company's over and we're ordering Chinese food, that's what I'm going to do. I could order egg foo young if I want it. I just need to track it and manage it. I could have an egg roll. I just have to know that if I'm having Chinese food that night, I need to watch what I'm eating throughout the day. So yes, you could totally eat out. No big deal. What do you do if you are over on one macro but under on another? They're separate. They don't relate to each other. It's 10 over under proteins, 10 over under carbs, 6 to 8 over under fats. You will get a shout out, and you saw in the group 2 people got a shout out. I think it was Drew and I don't remember, Gabriella. If you're within 20% of your numbers, but that's not what we're aiming for. We're aiming for the 10, 10, and 6 to 8. I just can't change that in my app. Okay, I'm going to read you a couple of things that, let me just hold on. If you hit your carbs and fats, blah, blah, blah. Oh, here's one. So if you hit your carbs and fats and you're 10, 10, and 6, 8, and everything's good with your macros, but you're over in your calories, it's okay. It's accounted for. Don't worry about it. You're worried about you're focused on macros, not calories. Okay, so I'm going to read you a couple of things that previous Shred Tribe members have given to you guys as advice. I would tell them to track everything in the morning. That helps me keep on track, and it's easier to hit your numbers when they are pre-logged. Someone else says, I know it's a lot of meat. Trust the process. Someone else says, one thing I would tell a member about tracking macros in journal is it works and you can eat carbs. And the can is in big letters, capital letters. It may be a little overwhelming at first, but it does get a lot easier. And if you stay consistent, the weight will come off. I would tell someone new to find 2 breakfasts and 2 lunches that fit into their macros and try to repeat them throughout the week. Then find 4 to 5 dinners that you can move around and use them throughout the week. It makes it so much easier to manage over a long period of time. If you stray off the course, get right back on it. The challenge is between you and your mind. If you drink, you have to be willing to make a lifestyle change. And that's what this is all about. Remember, we're changing our habits. That person sounds like me. I would tell a new tribe member to track a day or 2 ahead and never use above 10. The above 10, that 10 leeway. As your numbers get closer, I tell you guys not to individually. So if you're closer to your goal, I'll usually say stay 4 to 5 within, because you got to tighten up the ranks a little bit. Someone said it's not as bad as you think. Give it a chance. Pre-log and pre-plan all your food, all your meals in order to be successful and make your macros. Or maybe the word should be consistent is better, but either way, it works. Planning ahead is my advice. Write it all down before you eat it. If plans change, you could always move things around, but it's easier to stay on track when you have a plan before the day starts. Another tip is, these are all these people. Another tip is plan at least one thing you really look forward to having in your day to eat. You're less likely to go off track or binge. I do that every day. Every morning I log my Yasso bar. Yasso bar is like a frozen yogurt bar, but I log it every day so it accounts for so I can have it. What I would tell a new tribe member is that it's okay to mess up while you are learning. Everything is fixable. It's only a disaster if you eat first and then track later. Sorry, I've been so busy, but I would tell new tribe members not to give up. Stay focused. It will get easier. Don't stress and just try and enjoy it. Enjoy the process. Have fun on their new journey into a healthier lifestyle. I would tell a new tribe member to listen to Coach Shannon. She knows her shit. I promise I didn't put that one in there. My thoughts for the next tribe. Don't be discouraged and take it one day at a time. It'll get easier as you go. Just be patient. Shannon knows her shit, so having a coach is amazing. Change doesn't happen overnight, hence why I'm doing this my second time. Her second challenge. Okay. On Wednesday is the first official meeting of the Summer Shred into Summer. We're going to talk about how to get your proteins in. We're going to talk about ways to help you stay consistent and focused. all things you're going to need as you're getting started. We're going to talk about alcohol. We're going to talk about weight loss myths as much as I can get in there for that meeting. Like mistakes we make while tracking macros and myths of trying to change your body. And let me just make sure I didn't miss any of these questions on here. Oh, logging workouts. I want to talk about that. When you go in your app, and I have 3 minutes. Okay, good. When you go in your app, and you see the plus sign right there on your dash, if you touch that, you're going to see activity. Activity, once you click it, will give you options. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, if you hit general, because if you do Orange Theory Fitness or hard exercise works or any of those things, which I don't, I think you should all be doing Orange Theory Fitness, but if you hit it, you can actually manually type in what you did. I don't need the calories. I just need to know you did something as far as the time that you did it, like how long. If you click on the workout kettlebell, it's at the top. I'm going to show you what you'll see, which you don't see it yet. So don't click on it yet, but you will see it come Monday because I didn't put anybody's workouts in yet. But you will see when you click that kettlebell, all the workouts I've built with videos. And there's lots of them. There's yoga, there's core exercises, there's resistance bands, there's at home, there's at gym workouts. And they're not mandatory for you guys. They're just there for you. If you have not found your report that I gave you guys, the 17-page report, it's under the fork and knife. It looks like this. It's a PDF file. Super important to read that. When you guys are on your dashboard, please make sure you are looking at the tips and tricks. Please try to join my Facebook group if you're on Facebook. Read through your ebook. And then the YouTube channel is super, super, super important. I always put all our meetings in on the YouTube channel. Someone messaged me and said, what if I can't make it to a meeting? It's going to be in there. If you don't have a way of like a wearable, like an iWatch or a Garmin or a Fitbit, there's no way for me to see your steps, but you can still tick it off knowing that you did them if you have a pedometer. And that's what I want to see, that you're building habits. You can also put your steps in under general as an option. And I think I mentioned blah, blah, blah. Okay, I think I answered every question. If you have more questions, always ask them, send them to me, and I usually will answer them to you and then bring them to the meeting also. Because if you have that question, majority of the people have that question, they just don't ask it, or they didn't think to ask it. Thank you guys so much for coming on a Saturday. I really appreciate it. I am super pumped to be in this challenge with you guys, to do the summer shred. I'm doing it along with you guys, so that'll be really fun. Building up for my trip to Europe in September for my 50th birthday celebration. Yay! Not about the 50, but about Europe. Wah, about the 50. And I look forward to working with you guys over the next how many weeks it is. Thank you so much. Have an amazing Saturday. Remember, always be badass. See you guys on Wednesday.